Hello class, so in this video, we are going to discuss inverse Laplace transforms naman. So previously, we have discussed how to solve for the Laplace transform of different functions. So what we would like to do now is to go the other way, and that is to revert the function in the S space back to a function in T space. So ang gagamitin natin na operation dito is yun nga, inverse Laplace transform. And it is denoted by this operation. So, ang ginagamit nating operator is L or yung cursive na L raised to -1. So, meaning, we are to get the inverse Laplace transform of this function f of s. So, pag mag-inverse Laplace transform tayo, we will also just use the table of Laplace transform natin. So, the table of Laplace transform, however, instead of looking at f of t, tapos check natin ano siya pag f of s, baliktad yung mangyayari. Titingnan muna natin yung f of s natin and what it will be kapag kinonvert natin siya into t space. So, ganun yung process natin dito. Now, some properties of inverse Laplace transform. So, as with Laplace transform, we have the following facts to help us take the inverse transform. Number one, very obvious one, the linearity property. So, yung Laplace transform ng operator natin, pwede mo rin siyang i-distribute sa mga sum or sa mga differences. So, in short, if you are asked to get the Laplace transform of these functions, two functions, pwede siya na inverse Laplace transform siya ng first function plus the inverse Laplace transform of the second function. Now, we also have the shifting property dito. Now, yung shifting property natin is if you are asked to get the Laplace transform, inverse Laplace transform of f of s, and that is equal to f of t, then the inverse Laplace transform of f of s minus a is equal to e raised to at g of t. So, ito rin yung, kumbaga binaliktad lang natin tong shifting property nung previous na, ay nung Laplace transform mismo. Next, property 3. So we have, if the inverse Laplace transform of f of s is equal to f of t, then the inverse Laplace transform of that f of s over s, so kumbaga itong f of s natin, divide natin sa s, ano na yung kanyang magiging inverse Laplace? Yung inverse Laplace daw niya is the integral from 0 to t of f of t dt. So, yun yung isa pang property. Now, para mas madali, apply natin sa isang problem. So, we have, find the inverse Laplace transform of f of s is equal to s plus 4 over s squared plus 9. So, again, ang isang major na struggle, magiging struggle natin with solving or finding the inverse Laplace transform class is yung form. Kumbaga, kasi kung mapapansin natin, during the discussion natin in Laplace transform, kumbaga directly kung ano yung time function niya, kung ano tong mga nakasulat dito, ay ganun na yung form ng ating mga equation or ng ating mga function. But this time around, hindi ganun. Kasi 'di ba, nakita nyo tayo nga, sinisimplify natin sa dulo. So, mahirap na siyang ibalik sa kung ano yung itsura niya nung umpisa. So, tingnan natin kung paano siya ginagawa dito sa problem na to. We are asked to find the inverse Laplace transform of f of s is equal to s plus 4 over s squared plus 9. So, yung magiging struggle natin dito, class, is paano natin siyang gagawin nakahawig na nung nandito. Kasi ito, class, kung titingnan mo dito sa table of Laplace natin, wala naman siyang kamukha, di ba? Even itong s, bawa ito, sabi natin, sir, itong nasa dulo medyo kamukha, hindi rin. Di ba? Kasi ito, naka-square, tapos naka-square yung buong equation. So, hindi naman ganito yon. So, iba siya. So, kung ganun yung case, class, kailangan is gawin muna natin na equation natin ay kamuka nung mga nasa side na to ng table. So, we need to make the terms of our function in the S space similar sa format nitong mga to. So, yun yung first na kailangan natin gawin. So, to do that, what we can do for this problem is, so we are asked to get the inverse Laplace transform of s plus 4 over s squared plus 9. Pwede natin gawing, class, is i-distribute natin yung Laplace transform, inverse Laplace. So, linearity property. So, gawin natin is ito, gawin natin S over S squared plus 9 plus 4 over S squared plus 9. Now, tingnan natin. May kamukha na ba siya ngayon dito sa table of Laplace transform natin? So, tingnan mo natin yung S over S squared plus 9. We have S over S squared plus 9. So, eto siya, cosine. Diba? Kamukha na siya. This is S over S squared plus 9 natin, that is yun yung omega squared natin. So, therefore, pwede na nating i-express to as S over S squared plus 3 squared, which is, ito na ngayon siya, class. It's a cosine kapag kinonvert natin siya into t. Next, we have 4 over S squared plus 9. So, ito ba ay may kamuka? So, tingnan natin. Ito yung closest. We have omega over S squared plus omega squared, which is a sine omega t na function. However, class, ang sabi dito is we need omega tas omega squared dito. So, if your omega is 3, dapat 3 yung nasa taas. Diba? So, paano yun, sir? Hindi na siya pwede. So, tandaan, meron pa tayong pwedeng gawin. We can use the constant multiple na property. So, ang gawin natin, class, is ilabas natin yung 4. So, we will have 4 times S squared plus 3 squared. Tapos, ang kailangan natin, omega sa taas. So, lagyan natin ng 3 dito. Pero, maglagay din tayo ng over 3 dito para lang tayo nag-multiply sa 1. O, ito, ginagawa naman natin to sa ano, di ba? Pag-integrate. So, familiar na kayo siguro sa process na to. So, kumbaga, para lang tayo nag-multiply sa 1. So, naglabas tayo ng 1/3. Nilabas na natin yung 4. So, para ang matira is 3 over S squared plus 3 squared. Because this equation, class, or this term, that is similar na to the Laplace transform of sine omega t. So, yun na. Nasolve na ngayon yung dilemma natin sa form, kumbaga, ng ating equation or ng function. So, we will now have f of t natin is equal to the Laplace of S over S squared plus 9. Ito yun. Plus the Laplace transform of 4 over 3. So, ito pwede natin yung ilagay dito. 3 over S squared plus 9. So, direct na. So, the Laplace transform of S over S squared plus, inverse Laplace pala, sorry, nakakamali ako lagi. Inverse Laplace transform of S over S squared plus 9. That's just cosine 3t. Nilabas natin yung 4/3. Ito siya. And so, inverse Laplace of 3 over S squared plus 9 is sine 3t. Now, this is our final answer. So, yun. So, sobrang dali na pag titingnan natin yung nasa table, di ba? So, ano lang tayo nahihirapan? Ang mahirap talaga is yung pag-express niya into similar, yun? Same format nung nasa Laplace transform table natin. Next example. Yeah, we are asked to find the Laplace transform of inverse Laplace transform of 2s squared minus 16 over s cubed minus 16s. So ito, class talaga, super struggle na nito. But what we can do is use or express the function in its, kumbaga, iyan na natin siya. I-break down rather into its partial fractions. So ganun na lang yung gagawin natin. Kasi kung napapansin nyo, class, kapag naka-partial fractions yung ating equation or ating function, kamukha niya yung mga nasa Laplace transform table natin. So what we will do, class, is use partial fractions. So to use partial fractions, so dapat familiar na kayo. Nasa prerequisite test to, dapat nakapag-partial fractions kayo doon. So simple lang naman is express natin into its multiples or kumbaga into its products yung denominator natin. So in this case, yung 2s squared minus 16 over s cubed minus 16s natin will become 2s squared over 16 over s times s plus 4 times s minus 4. So ayan, nilabas lang natin yung s. Nilaging s squared minus s times s squared minus 16. S squared minus 16, this is the product of kalimutan ko na yung tawag. Yung s squared minus 16 natin, that's equal to s plus 4 times s minus 4. So, ito na ngayon siya. So, express natin siya into partial fractions. So, yung 2s squared natin minus 16 over s cubed minus 16s, that is equal to a over s plus b over s plus 4 plus c over s minus 4. So, make sure class, no, praktisado kayo with partial fractions. Kasi halimbawa, di ba, naiiba yung format nito kung may squared to sa baba, etc. etc. So, dapat familiar tayo doon. Yan. So, let us now try to find the values of a, b, and c. So, ang gagawin lang naman natin dyan, tanggalin natin or multiply natin yung whole equation by s squared minus 16s. So, if you multiply the whole equation by s squared minus 16s, mawawala na tong denominator nito sa baba. Tapos, ang matitira dito is s squared minus 16. Tapos, ang matitira naman dito is mababawasan ng s plus 4. So, ang matitira is s times s minus 4. Dito naman, matatanggal yung s minus 4. Ang matitira is s times s plus 4. Now, ang gagawin natin dito is yung mga coefficients nila. Titingnan natin. We simplify muna. So, we will arrive at 2s squared minus 16. Distribute lang. as squared minus 16a plus bs squared minus 4bs plus cs squared plus 4cs. So, i-factor out natin yung mga variable. We have 2s squared minus 16 is equal to s squared times a plus b plus c plus s times 4c minus 4b plus s raised to 0 or yung constant lang, and that is, ito lang, negative 16a. So, in-emphasize ko lang na yung s raised to 0 para pag nag-coefficient, mas familiar tayo. So now, tingnan muna natin yung coefficients of, or lahat ng constant, or coefficients of s raised to 0. So that is just negative 16 is equal to negative 16a. So ito lang naman dalawa yan. So we will have a natin is equal to 1. Next, we have the coefficients of s. So ang may s lang is wala on the left side, and that is just 4c minus 4b. So, ilipat natin yung kabilang side, tapos cancel yung 4. So, we will arrive at b is equal to c. Next, we have the coefficients of s squared naman. So, ito lahat meron kanina. So, 2 is equal to a plus b plus c. But alam na natin kung ano yung value ng a. And alam natin that b is equal to c. So, therefore, we have 2 is equal to a natin is 1. Tapos gawin natin is b is equal to c, so 2b. So therefore, ang b natin is equal to 1/2. So mangyari kasi dyan, magiging 1 is equal to 2b, so b natin is 1/2. Therefore, c natin is also 1/2. So yung partial fractions natin will be 1 over s, this is your a, and then 1 over 2, that's your b, times s minus 4, plus 1 over 2, times s plus 1 over 4. Now, kung mapapansin, mas madali na siyang kuhanan ng ng Laplace transform. Nandun na siya agad dun sa table natin. Itong 1 over s, ito lang siya. Yung s1 over s minus 4, yung s minus 4, ito lang din siya. Yung s plus 4, ito rin. So, we can now proceed. So, get the Laplace transform of 1/2 of 1 over s, sorry mali, of 1 over s, so ito lang yon. So, ang Laplace transform ng 1 over s, inverse Laplace pala, ano ba yan? Inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s, that is just 1. Next, we have the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s minus 4. So, nilabas lang natin yung 1/2, no? So, kumbaga, itong 2 na to, ilagay natin dito. Ayan, so, linearity, constant multiple lang naman na property, so familiar tayo doon. So, ang Laplace transform ng 1 over s minus 4 is e raised to negative 80 yung basehan niya. So, ang a natin this time is 4. Next, we have the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over 2 times s plus 4. Labas ulit natin yung 1/2. Ito yun. Laplace transform of 1 over s plus 4. So, we can use also this one. But napansin, negative to, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, dapat yung a natin is negative para mag-positive siya kung ito yung babasehan natin. So, this will be e raised to negative 40. So, therefore, our answer is 1 plus 1/2 e raised to 40 plus 1/2 e raised to negative 40. Yan. So, for That's it for for inverse Laplace transform. So ang importante dito class talaga is practice. So therefore, after nito, solve niyo yung mga problems na nandoon sa nandoon sa exercises natin. Kasi ang kailangan niyo dito class is constant practice. So I suggest pwede kayong tumingin sa internet ng mga possible na ng mga solutions, ng mga answers, at saka exercises or solve problems in Laplace transforms. Yan. So that is it for this video.